is Picture Perfect. We are three moms just trying to figure it out together. Let's get real and welcome to the Think Loud Crew podcast.
Woo! Yay!
Today we have a special guest. We have Shahar with us.
I was gonna say, how would you like us to introduce you?
However, she goes by
Her first name.
All right. But I know her as Shahar, but it's Tamara, right?
So yes, Tamara Shahar. Actually, you can call me any name you want because none of them are dead names. They're still just my name. Like Tam is usually what I go by, but like
that blows my mind because I think I've just always known you as Shahar.
Oh, don't worry. There are a bunch of people who only know me by
you
one
as Shahar.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. It blew my mind only because when she came on the trip with us, you guys, and she was amazing. But when I was getting these cups made, I was so confused. I just kept looking. I kept in my head, like, who the fuck is Tamara? And I wanted to ask you guys, I'm like, because I didn't see
They're
Shahar.
not in the chat.
Right, they're not in the chat. She's never chimed in. I don't see Shahar's name in here. And I just kept, and then so when you got the cup, I said, oh. I was like, oh, I'm a bad friend.
So actually how that came about, when I was in middle school and I was going to a new high school in a new city for the first time, I was like, great, we're gonna keep my friend group separate, no one will know anything. It backfired spectacularly. Because Pasadena and the Valley are not far away at all.
No,
I just
not
didn't
at
have
all.
a car.
When I met you,
as it turns out.
I met you as Shahar.
Yeah. Well,
in high school. So in high school, you changed your name. You're like, I'm going to use my middle name.
You know what it was? I was tired of people mispronouncing my name because I'm not a Maori twin. I love them, but that's not my name.
Oh, Tamara.
All the time. So often. Really just, I'm a functional person.
You were like, stop, I am not sister.
I'm not. Like,
sister.
Exactly. The irony abounds.
Did they sing that to you?
No. I was much too scary for that as a teenage girl.
I was much too scary.
No, Shahar was always kind of intense. Like when we were younger.
Like I've mellowed considerably, and I'm still.
You
really
are still intense. I see you as very intense. Whenever I talk to you, I'm like, okay, let's get it in.
Yeah.
No, it's a good thing. It's a good quality to be an intense human and have like a conversation.
Is it? Because sometimes I'm too much for myself, but I appreciate you saying that.
I mean, I accept it.
I do too.
I know Kyle accepts it.
Wait, it took me a minute to be honest. Like so Shahar and I met.
I was just gonna say they've known each other forever
in high school.
I decided.
I was a year ahead of you.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Despite only being
we're the same age right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Interesting, because that's always.
My birthday's in February, so.
Okay, I'm October, but I was. I'm 08 as well. Okay. Keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
We met. I had been at the school since 4th grade, and like I had my issues there, whatever. But we danced together. We had like some classes together. There was like some overlap there.
Oh, cool.
And basically, there weren't that many black people, and Shahar was like, I'm gonna be your friend.
I was like, you lit, we friends now. She was like, no. I was like, yes. So I was like, well, you're stuck with me. So
no. She was like, no, we're going to be friends.
And you said no?
I used to really be like, can you leave me alone?
And I was like, nope, our moms approved this, so you have no choice.
I can totally see Kyle like, girl.
And it was like, I was in 10th grade. 10th grade was like my hardest year at Westridge.
Yeah.
So like everything in me was like,
and then
why
we were
is this
together
girl
in New
looking
York.
my way?
Well, and then you're a lifer, so I'm sure you're like, girl, get back up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm in my trauma state right now, and I'm just trying to survive. Like literally, that's my mind frame. And she's like, we're gonna be friends. We dance together. I love you. You're great. And I was
that
like,
is totally Shahar.
go away.
Yep. You're like, you're a lot. And I was like, that's true. So
and we both
like,
You're still my friend.
Yep.
We both danced. Like we were both like on advanced dance
New
team
York
and all these things.
was lit.
New York, we
Wow.
did. We went to New York for a week. and we did this whole like dancing on Broadway, and we were
That's
actually
cool.
roommates. We had our own apartment together.
Yeah,
and
and
it
she's
was
like, we're not
that
friends, and I
with,
was like, but we are though. Like, but functionally we are.
Was that
so.
with what's her name? What's the dance teacher at West Ridge?
Okay.
Cashmere.
Cashmere.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Yes. So it was.
Good times.
That was like.
And Stephanie Weber.
And Miss Weber, yes. If anyone
Shout out
knows
to her.
Stephanie Weber, I'm looking for her.
We love you. You're very important.
I am looking for
I
her.
love that,
I
yeah.
actually am. But yeah, that was like the beginning of our stuff, of our friendship, I would say. And like as the years progressed, like, you know, I opened up and it was like,
I love that.
okay, I guess she's not bad type vibe. I was just really going through a lot of things, and it had nothing to do with Shahar. Like, Shahar was an amazing
were,
person.
like, no new
it was just
friends.
like, it was more so I just needed to figure out myself
Yeah.
at the time. Like, I was really having a hard time at Westridge. I was like, my 10th grade year, I tried to fail out. It was just really hard. And they didn't let me. They literally were like, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with you. Like,
Right.
we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
You're like, damn it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were like, oh, we understand you feel that way.
Yeah, that's nice. Oh, I'm sorry you're going through these things. It's actually normal. Like, what
Yeah.
you're feeling is actually
You're a
normal, but we're
teenager,
not
yeah.
gonna let you know it's normal, like type vibe. So, I wouldn't say it was till after high school that we actually got really close, and I think it was like I was in my healing journey,
Yeah.
and I was like, you know what? This girl has really been here for me, and she is someone who I can actually talk to about this, and she has an understanding. And in that, I think Shahar actually is one of the people that taught me to allow like people to show up for me.
I love that, yeah.
Regardless of how I felt or like what I was going through. And she was like, nah, we're gonna be friends. Like,
I love it.
I am here for you. So now it's, gosh, years later, like many years later.
How long have you been out of high school?
I don't know.
Nah.
I graduated in 2007.
No.
You're like, Shannon, hush your mouth.
Yeah, but it's like, let's just put it this way. It's been like 20 years that we've known each other,
I love that.
That's true. Yeah.
which is crazy to me.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I don't feel old enough to.
Not the
well,
wow.
I also don't feel old enough to have been married for as long as I have.
How
So
long
How
have
long
you
have you been
been
married
married?
now?
we got married in 2019, but we bought a house like years before that. So I feel like I've been married a really long
That's
time.
goals.
Yeah.
You just said
Casually.
she said we bought a house. And before that's
well, okay,
very
look,
casual.
This
His-
is her college man.
I love that. So
yeah.
tell us a little bit about yourself. Like,
Sure. What would you like to know?
where did you
The
go to
Lord
college?
knows
You said you're a dancer. So did you continue to do dance
So
in college and all those good things? And all those good things.
Shahar's a philosophy major.
I actually went to UCSB on a D1 triple jump scholarship.
Oh,
Track star.
wow.
Yeah, I broke the UCSB triple jump record in gosh.
Not broke. Wow.
yeah,
Get it, girl.
well, I
Well, you know.
you know,
Like,
casual. But yeah, I want to say 2010 probably.
wow.
So my sophomore year.
That's crazy. That's amazing.
Thank
So you broke a record.
Yeah, it
You
just
found your
it stood
man?
until this past year.
Wow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
High five.
That's
cool. There was
really
longevity
cool.
there.
Right. You're like, I got this.
And
So
held
they
it
just
for a minute.
So they just broke it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
It's a good cool accomplishment. Sorry, I couldn't speak.
Yeah, then I quit because I was bored, and that's not on ADHD.
So
I
you
did the thing
met
already.
your significant other.
Yeah, in tumbling class actually. So NCAA rules say that you're not allowed to do like extreme sports when you are on scholarship.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, but I need to cross train because otherwise
Right.
it's not gonna give what it's supposed to give. And so a lot of my motivation, like I started doing track because I wanted a Letterman's jacket.
I
And
love
someone told me dance wasn't a real sport. And I was like, bet, challenge accepted. Got the swag.
Right.
got a scholarship somehow.
Yeah.
Wasn't planning on that. I don't even like running.
I don't even remember
Like,
you doing like track in high school.
I did it for 2 years, and then I didn't like the coach my senior year, and I quit again because I already had a scholarship. I'm chaos at best. Like
I love hearing you talk because the way you explain things is like you get into it and you're like, well, there it is. And then
surprise.
Right. So
Yes.
you got a scholarship
Yep.
and during high school you already got your scholarship.
Yeah,
So that's why you quit.
so,
You're just like
like,
I'm
beginning
already
of-
here.
I'm already
Well,
got
yeah,
it.
because track is a spring sport, so by that time, like, admissions
Yeah.
were done, like, it was all that, and I was like, I also, I started track in high school, long, triple, and high jump, and so that was sophomore year. I think I went to CAF prelims or finals my first year, and then my next year I went to state for triple.
And that was all in high school.
In 2 years.
So in college, you were just
Freshman, sophomore
already
year,
in.
and then I was like, cool, we did it again.
Yeah. Don't need to
and
do
you
it
met
anymore.
your man in tumbling.
Oh, yeah, so
Yes.
he coached.
Like,
Okay,
I
I'm
was
like, go back.
By the way, we
Yes.
have to just give a slight disclaimer. Shahar and I will have the most ADHD, bounce off the wall conversations.
That's what I was about to say.
So I'm like,
Yeah, this is
I'm-
not going
that's
to be
why-
a linear
that's
conversation.
why I'm
but
trying to
please.
just keep you guys on track.
This is what I need, though. Like,
Because-
I need boundaries. I have
because
none.
I was going into this interview. I was like, I already told Kyle, said, so we're going to
two
keep
topics.
two topics because I already know y'all.
2.
Yes, ma'am. I know you two. You two would be like, and and then do the
Listen,
next one, and I'm
I
like,
didn't even bring my murder board with all the string to like show
So
where
that's
the
why I'm-
connections
that's
were.
why
I'm doing
I'm
good.
here.
I appreciate it.
Thank
so
you,
we're gonna
Shannon.
keep you on track.
Yes,
So
Okay.
tumbling.
Tumbling
Okay,
class.
tumbling class.
Craig taught. He's been coaching since he was maybe 15. Like,
Okay.
So he coached Olympic trampoline,
Okay.
in high school, and so he actually helped out the gymnastics instructor at UCSB. Like when he was gone, he would actually run the class. So that's where we met, and then we discovered that we lived down the street from each other.
In college.
Mhm,
Okay.
yeah, and so that was sophomore year.
Sophomore year, and you guys stuck with each other since then.
No, God, no. Chaos. Remember? No.
Okay.
He was way too nice, and I was not in my soft girl area.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Craig is a really, I truly appreciate him in the person that
Yeah.
he is and the person that he allows Shahar to, continue to be. Like, you know how there's
Yeah.
some people where it's like they want to, confine you or be like, no, let me
Like,
tame
change
you.
you,
Or,
yeah.
Craig is like, there's Tam.
Yep, he's the most go
Like-
with the flow type of person.
Very supportive.
So
Yeah.
it took a minute to get you guys to lock it in.
Well, he's very respectful,
Aw,
and
love that.
I was even more chaotic in college,
Mhm.
and so he had a crush on me, but couldn't really figure out how to broach the subject.
Yeah.
And then I started dating someone else, and then it was awful, truly the worst experience.
that
The
relationship.
other relationship?
So yes, he called me years after, and I was like, "Oh, you're still alive. That is unfortunate. Why do you have my number?
Stop. Stop.
I don't like this man."
So when did Craig make his move?
So we
did
fell
you
out of
become-
touch.
Okay.
And I came back. I took a year off of UCSB actually and did community college at home because I partied a little hard, and I was like, "Oh,
We
right,
love that
we
for
have
you,
grades.
We have grades.
Like,
We have responsibilities. Is it
those
not
things.
like a party school?
It's the
Yes.
biggest party school. It's
Got
on
it.
the beach.
Oh, that would be dangerous. Okay, so
My sophomore year, my house was literally a block away from the beach on a street
That
called
sounds-
Sabado Tarde.
that sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
So you took a break.
Yeah,
to get
and so I
back-
came back and we met up again. We happened to run into each other on New Year's Eve at the grocery store,
Oh,
super
wow.
randomly.
I did not know that part.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
cute.
like
Oh,
a
that's
really.
adorable.
Sometimes I don't know who's directing my life, but they seem to like to change genres because sometimes it's dramatic and other times it's a rom-com.
Yeah,
Who could say? So
I like that you said that. Who's directing my
very
life? You are.
adorable. Like, oh well, yeah. I feel like the director's supposed to know what's happening. I do not. But yeah. So if you hear him tell it, he was like, and that's, he's like, yeah, and like I think he called his friend or his sister or something. He's like, I saw her again. I'm gonna marry that girl.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
And then so there it is. And it's been
But he's responsible for me graduating. He like I basically lived at his house for a lot of my last year there. And he brought me all my favorite snacks, and he did my laundry, and he got a coffee maker, even though he didn't drink coffee. He does now. He's been converted. Don't worry. And and made sure that I actually did my homework and did all the things. And I was like, oh, great. So
you're a great man. Thank you.
All of this before we were official.
Oh, really?
All
I
of
tell
that.
you, he is a
That-
really
that's- he
good
was
He
like-
man.
literally was like, fine, come to me, and just
Let me help you.
Yes.
Let me.
all
like,
of
I
his
got you.
friends were. Honestly, that was the biggest green flag for me. Was
I love
that
that you
he
said
had,
a green flag. Okay.
Yes, like his friend group was really the most chill vibe. Like,
Yeah.
there was no jealousy. There was no like, oh no, like he's going to work and like other people are here. Like, we had great in-depth philosophical conversations. It was awesome, and never once was he like, oh, how come you're talking to them? He was like, of course you should be friends with my friends. My
Yeah.
friends are awesome. I was like,
Yes.
finally,
that.
someone who understands.
Yeah. So, with you having amazing green flags with like meeting Craig and all those good things, what advice would you give to a new couple or like a dating couple that wants to get married? What advice would you give somebody?
I think first and foremost, you have to have a foundation of friendship. And so if you wouldn't judge someone that you are friends with for something,
Yeah.
try not to hold your mate like to a higher standard than you hold yourself or the other people in your life.
I like that. Okay.
Because like they're also a human.
Yeah.
And what I found is that giving people grace, but especially the people that you live with, makes it so that you yourself can like receive grace.
Yeah.
And so for me, the foundation really being a friendship, like the whole philosophy of how we date in the United States for me is backwards.
Yeah.
I've never, I guess it's probably a neurodivergent thing. I've never really understood how you can get to know someone under false pretenses, which like, is that how you're going to spend your relationship at the movies
Right.
or restaurants? Because
'Cause that's not
I want to see
real.
how
Makes
you
sense.
live.
Yeah.
I need to know your friends. Like when people are like, oh, I've never introduced anyone to my family. And I'm like,
Wow.
what are you hiding?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with your family that you don't want people to meet them? Because, I don't know, for me, I always had people over, but my mom didn't give me much of a choice. She was like, you're not going anywhere.
So yeah,
I don't
everyone's
know
coming
them.
over. Yeah.
And so,
I kind of like that concept too. But yeah.
And I agree with Shahar because Shahar has always been very vocal about like my dating life.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, Kyle,
what are
what are you doing?
What's happening here?
What's happening?
I like-
If I don't hear from her
no.
for too long, I'm like, she's up to some stuff again.
like,
We're doing it all
Yeah.
wrong.
She's like, wait a
she's like,
minute.
come on, really back
But I like
in.
that. I feel like those are, friends that you need. Like, you
Yes.
need them to be like, snap back.
And then
Come back here.
The other nice thing is it's not just like Shahar and I having these conversations. I can be there with her husband, with Craig, and we're all having this conversation.
Yeah.
And
So
Craig
again,
is chiming in as
he's-
well. Like,
So that's like
Like
another
the friend.
thing. Yeah. So
Yes.
one of my requirements and like how I actually knew that I found my person is like the whole friend thing. If you're dating me, like I don't know if you can tell, a person of extremes. So
Yeah.
I either really, really fucks with you heavy, or
Yeah.
like I don't want
You're
to
not-
see you at all.
Yeah.
Like I'm good.
there's
Like,
no stimulation here.
yeah, exactly. It was like, I'm bored. You gotta
Yeah.
go. Like, and so with Craig, like, the whole thing was I want him to have friendships, his own relationships with my friends, like
Yeah.
with men and women in my life, but like especially women. One, because I think he's fantastic.
Yeah.
But part of the reason why I think he's fantastic is he's actually a really great, I would say, role model and like example of what a good partner should be. And enough
I
of
love
my
that.
friends had
Yeah.
not had that experience, and I
And
was
you're
like,
I want to share that.
Yeah,
it gives
like,
you like here's
he's
another
great.
version of what a man can actually
be.
be. And
I like that.
I think it's just been really positive. We haven't touched on this, but Shahar is in an interracial relationship as well. So it's like he allows, like, just as that friend, he allows us to have our like hardcore Black conversations at times. And it's like he's not like, settle down, ladies,
Never.
or like calm
In fact,
down.
a lot of times he's like, exactly,
Exactly,
right
yeah.
people in my work. I just, yeah, he does.
or
He's
he's like, how can
understanding.
I be supportive? Or hey, I've never heard of this in this, like, that's a different perspective for me. Like, he's engaging in the conversation. So
and really
there's
wants to learn more.
times where it's like, Shahar doesn't have to be present.
Nope.
Yeah.
Craig and I can have a great day. We could sit there and talk. We could watch a show. He'll go cook some food.
Yeah, like, it's his home.
And I
It's-
love, and I
it's
love that
very
you
easy.
want that for your friends and for your husband it was a priority for you to like make sure that everyone is included.
Listen, if I could, I would have my own millennial dream of a commune with all my friends. Where we
It's coming.
So, it is what I want as intentional
Yeah.
community. But I think that's why a lot of people think back on college so fondly. It is the only place in American society for adult humans where all of your needs are catered to within like a mile radius, and all of the people who live there,
That
for
is
the most part,
true.
are
Are in that.
pursuing the same thing. They're in the same mindset.
I didn't experience that.
I didn't me neither. Well,
I didn't go to college though.
I did for 2 seconds.
Well,
yes,
but you know
but
what?
I can
it's
relate.
a type
yes,
of college
it
though,
is.
because it's a
No,
college
no,
town.
it is a college
That
town.
makes sense,
Because I
though.
was in Riverside and it was a college town and it was everything. Like you said,
Yeah.
everything is right there. Food, all like it's all in one little radius.
Yeah, and you
you're
can
right.
walkable places.
yeah.
All your friends are there. You can drop in on them.
That is
There's
true.
there's the
Like,
support that you
cafeteria,
particularly
whatever,
need.
yeah.
All of it. Yep.
Interesting. I didn't think of college that way. But
Yeah.
yeah, it is a little community.
But like I think it's the
In
same reason we
radius.
think of summer fondly is because that's for most of us the only time we had a break from productivity. It's not that we like summer. Summer's awful. It's hot. There are bugs. It's not.
Well,
God.
bringing up summer. We did mention that you did come on the women's retreat with us.
I did.
And
Very excited.
I think the biggest takeaway from you and being with you for those 5 days, I've really felt like your vulnerability was huge and just being open with everybody. And I think that was big for you too, because I feel like you did mention that you're not vulnerable with like most people. And I felt like when I say that this trip was so safe and it brought everyone together,
It was incredible.
It was amazing. So I want you to speak about a little bit of like your experience, what you felt, things that you didn't expect, or
How you were coming in versus
yes,
like
coming out of
coming out.
So,
I guess going in first.
well,
how
okay.
your
So
feelings
going in, I am an aspirational traveler mostly because of being friends with you all. It's very stressful.
Yeah.
Like creating my safe place, being at my house where I have all of my things and all of that is really based on like needing a visual routine I can see. And
Yeah.
so when I travel, I'm like, guess I'm on my own. Let's
Yeah,
find
like,
out what
what's-
happens.
yeah.
Like, just winging it. And so once I got past the anxiety and decided that I was going and it was going to be a good thing and
Yeah.
that I needed this because I really, really did. It's been burnt out for a couple years now. And so like it was definitely a good turning point. I was apprehensive though because I was one of, one of 3 people on the trip. Lily and Zaina, who don't have kids.
Who don't have
Okay,
children.
that don't have kids. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I wasn't quite sure what to expect in that regard. Probably, I'm a very practical person in my head, and so when I can't figure something out, like I couldn't figure out the whole like wedding venue, save the date, cyclical nightmare, and so I had 7 people at my wedding, and it was great.
I love that.
And I planned it in 3 months and rented a Airbnb. It's fine. So the whole practicality of having a child in America as a Black woman, and then like a mixed race child on top of that, and then the school system, and it's been kind of that's a nice, like, that would be nice. And then I was like, oh, I'm old now. I should think about that seriously.
Yeah.
Because when I look in the mirror, like, it's not a constant reminder. Black So like I have to remember that like, you know, I'm an adult and I actually can just decide to have kids. And so
do you think the trip made you
think
about
yeah,
this
so
more?
it was really nice to be around people who were obviously moms, but like a group of people who were actually real people. I feel like
Do you not feel like moms are real?
I don't think our parents' generation presented themselves as real people, no.
Okay.
To their children.
Okay.
And this is not across the board. I think that has a lot to do with the expectations, the perfectionism, especially amongst Black women.
Yes.
Like that's we don't really have a choice in. So it was just like, I guess I was having a hard time picturing being myself. Or remembering
moms.
Exactly. And I was like, oh, okay. But like even having my own kids, like the idea of like, oh, like there's a mom persona where like you're not allowed to say X, Y, and Z because why? You can't harm your children. And I was like, I can't remember which lies we're supposed to keep up with in society to be polite. Like this sounds hard. How do you remember to actually, I don't know, be your best self all the time? When sometimes I'm like,
guess what?
Oh, right, I'm supposed to be a person.
You don't have to be your best self all the time. Like, as a mom, I think it's okay to have, like, stressful moments. It's okay to be like, hey, mom's not having the best day today. Can you work with me a little bit? Or to phone a friend and be like, look, I need some help today.
Yeah, or just, I need to vent. Do you feel like the trip was refreshing to see all us moms come together and be our most authentic self?
It was really nice to see that. It was nice to hear how you parented.
Okay.
The pedagogy, I know this is a little deep, but you know,
Go
private
for it.
school, right? The pedagogy of how you all parent and how intentional it is, and that not only do you show up as yourselves, but you allow your children to show up as their selves.
Yes.
To me, that was the part that was missing because that was for me the imbalance where it was like, hey, like I'm having a hard day. Like try and work with me. And I was like, what about when I have hard days? How do what about that?
Yeah, I love that you got to hear us talk about that because I think in our generation,
I'm proud of our generation.
As mothers, I think we are trying so hard to make it open for our kids to have that. I don't know. I'm trying to get my words together. To have that space to feel comfortable and vulnerable with us. So, like you said, like mommy's having a hard day today. This is what it means. Da 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 da. And letting our kids to feel that and talk to us about it. I think is that what you're trying to?
Yeah, like I think for our generation when we were growing up, there was an understood barrier between
most definitely
who you showed your parents and who you were actually, like who you were allowed to be in front of family. And like the propriety and all of that. And so I think for me, that in my mind has probably been the untold barrier that I've been struggling with is like that internalized idea of like, but if I become a mom, like I can't be myself anymore because there has to be
and I understand that because I feel like even like in social media,
I don't believe that, but that's my internalized bias. I think
social media sometimes gives this persona of like, I would say not as much anymore because there's a lot of moms who are like, look, this is me in my chaos. Like, let me actually show you.
Let me show you.
But it's like movies. Okay, so for example, the other night I was reading to my kids and it was pure chaos. And for me, like, I always compare myself to like a movie or like what other things I may see where I'm like bedtime stories. And I'm like, damn, the kid's laying in the bed, mom's actually reading the book, night lights on,
and they paid that kid to do that too.
And my kid is jumping all around. They're laughing, they're tickling each other, and I'm sitting there getting frustrated. And I put this on my Snap, and I showed my mom the next day, and she was like, "Man, I don't know if you should have done that. Like that looks crazy." And I was like. But that's the reality. That's the reality for me. And I was happy I did because there were other parents who then chimed in. They were like, hey, this is what my bedtime story time looks like too. I'm so happy you posted this so I know I'm not the only one who's going through all these chaotic moments. Like, it's not supposed to look pretty. It's not supposed to be like, let me present you my life as a mother. No, this stuff it's hard. It's difficult. And I think that is a part of the conversation that needs to be not emphasized but discussed more, that it is difficult and you are going to have these chaotic moments so that when you are having it as a new parent or even as a seasoned parent, you're not like, what's wrong with me or like what's wrong with my kid, but it's just like
Accepting life.
this is just what it is, and it's okay. So
Meanwhile, I'm watching Gossip Girl to cope.
I've never watched Gossip Girl.
Me neither.
But it's about our life, except it's set in New York.
No, I love that you took that. You're hilarious.
Yeah, it's almost like you got to see behind the veil a little bit more of just different styles of parenting and like hearing us talk about our kids. And there was such a variety of we're all in different cities. Yeah. Like some of us have boys, some have girls. There's different ages. There were some parents who have children who are on the spectrum. So it was, some who were single parents, some who have been married for a really long time. So you were able to get a variety of just perspectives and motherhood.
Yeah.
And see that there's no cookie cutter way. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Like,
I feel like those conversations are so needed within like mother communities, non-mother every community, becoming a mom or the
just
question,
being the aunt present.
Being present. I think I'm just so happy that you were able to take that. And not be like, oh shit, y'all are crazy. Making me feel like,
no, it's like y'all are crazy. This is okay.
And that's what
fantastic news.
And that's what motherhood is. It's not picture perfect at all, but it is the most rewarding, beautiful journey to go on. And yes, I think our parents were from a generation of like, don't show face, like this is what it is. Like. It's strict.
They were
there's no
own
I'm
PR
not your little
teams.
friend. I'm not your friend. Or crying. I was looking at this one thing about like, telling your kids to stop crying. And that's something that I've been working on too. But it's just like you have to let them. Parker will, like, I think I say this all the freaking time on the podcast, but Parker for sure always lets me know that he has his feelings. So I'm really happy that you came on this trip and took that away. Because we were representing us as mothers. We were representing and, not being felt like we were being watched or but whatever. But like you got to see us unleash, drinking, having fun and being going back to who we are. Yeah. So there's all those moments where we are on our mom journey, but then those moments where we can let loose and be who we were before we had kids.
And it's ironic because I work with kids, and so it's funny where I'm like, oh no, like I couldn't possibly, because when I'm around kids, I'm like, oh no, I couldn't possibly.
Right.
And it's automatic, and so I'm like, but I guess for me, it's like, it's a neurodivergent burnout thing of like, no, this is great. But then they just live at my house.
Right. They're with me all the time.
They're still here.
I still have those moments where I'm like, what the hell? My kid, okay, I'm done. We're done. But
that was me last night.
You figure it out. I feel like when they come to a certain age, they figure you out. And they have these amazing bonds with you, and they stick with you, and they feel you. I feel like your kid is gonna be the most authentic person, like another version of you.
You and Craig
I know
together.
That's scary. You and Craig together. It's a scary thought, but they're gonna be this better version. This cope. This
a light bright with more privilege. Dear.
What did you say?
A light bright with more privilege.
I'm dead. You're wild. But anyways, is there anything that you took? So going in, you had a few concerns, I guess. And is there anything what was your highlight?
Even outside of motherhood, like even being with a group of women, like
I think that was
that I feel that was also a conversation in terms of like
so
acceptance.
I have lots of trauma around girl groups, mostly that I'm convinced that at some point I'm going to make like a neurodivergent mistake, and they're gonna be like, and everyone's gonna turn and be like, nope, like we knew it.
How did you feel with being with a group of?
I felt loved, which I genuinely, being vulnerable for me is really difficult because I wasn't really taught how to manage my emotions. I was only taught to like soothe them.
Yeah.
And so they're like the discussion of like the how are you feeling or like the venting to get things out was met with like that's not good for you. Like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't do that.
I
And
thought
I was
we
like,
had a lot of
do you want me to do it in real life? Because that's what you're gonna get if I don't
Yeah.
talk this through.
Yes.
And so I think that that internalized then fear of people not being able to handle my emotions
Yeah.
and me not feeling like I could handle my emotions is like a recipe for isolation whenever I'm upset. And so actually being able to be vulnerable and then also be taken care of was like in a way that felt good for me and not in a way where I was like, hey, actually this isn't good. And then I was yelled at for not just accepting what was offered. And so to me, like that was a really big turning point of like, oh, so I can have friends I actually like. That's wild. All right. Like more than in a group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was proud of you, Shahar. Like, I was really happy that you came because I know you were nervous at first. And to be honest, I was nervous too because I know how I can be in those situations, especially coming in with a friend where it's like, I could have been just clinging to you and been like, okay, this is a lot going on. I'm in fear of being rejected, or I may not be able to relate on some conversations, or I don't see myself in the same lifestyle, or just there's so many things that you can like tell yourself to lead to isolation or put that boundary of separation there. But Craig was really supportive. Craig was like, I'm getting Shahar's passport redone.
I love it.
Craig
He
is
was like,
the MVP.
we're-
So he
Like,
was-
he really
was
he's
like-
the reason why this happened.
Yeah, so
He was like,
that.
no, you need this trip. You need to go on it. Let me know what I like. What do I need
what
to
do
do?
I
to
need
help
to
you?
do? So I was really happy. I'm really happy that you have a supportive partner and that you took the risk and you stepped outside of your comfort zone to come.
Me too.
And when I tell y'all, Shahar was dancing out at the restaurant.
Do that.
Like,
Yes, you do that.
she's fearless. So it's like she literally had all these like, you know, just thoughts in her head, and like at one point she was like, I don't even care about the other people. I'm going on vacation with you.
Yep.
And when she
Mhm.
said
It was
that,
like,
I
it's
was
fine.
like, true, but it also made me a little nervous. So I was like, no,
Like,
Shahar,
but
we're all
on
in the
this together,
same
yeah.
boat together. And just seeing her like really just open up and blossom and like go off with the other girls and have
And talk,
conversations.
To be
Yeah.
fair, that was before I met anyone. I was like, I'm going.
I know, yes.
It doesn't
That was
matter.
before.
Yeah,
like,
but I think
but
once
no,
you
it was
got
good.
there, you had.
You know what? I got to make a lot of individual connections, which I think for me was usually the thing that's missing. Where I'm like,
Yes.
I feel like everyone else in a group is better friends than I am with anyone else.
But
and
no
so,
one had. There was no.
There was no
There
upper
was
leg.
no upper. There was no clicks. There
Yeah.
was no that.
Yeah, it
I
was
think
so nice.
It was very.
It was
nice.
so wholesome. Like
was.
it was so nice.
I like that you brought that up because I think everyone was able to have like their own share moment with each individual
Yeah,
woman
definitely.
that was there. So I love that you took that away.
Yes. Would you do it again with us?
Yes, but
what?
with a place that doesn't have holes in the door.
All the bugs.
Listen,
The bugs.
I am
She said
terrified
a
of
place.
mosquitoes now. Okay.
Oh yes, Shahar got a
Terrified.
bunch of
Oh,
bites.
Oh, you had. How are your legs?
I mean,
Look at me. How are your legs?
Like they were so bad, and then the bruising from the
Oh,
it
from
just-
the.
the bed. I had a platform bed that had it was a wood platform, but they had the comforter go over it. So every time I walked into the room,
Oh, you would
What?
hit
every
it?
time, every
Oh,
single time, and then
no.
again on the way around the bed, every time. Every
You
single
hit yourself?
every time in the same spot. Every time. That's why the bruise was so bad. In the same yes.
I kept wondering
Because I don't remember because I have ADHD and every time it was just like, damn it. I knew there was something I was supposed to remember.
That's insane.
That's crazy because I thought the
every
bruise
time.
was related to the mosquito bites,
Mosquito
and I
bites,
was like,
me too.
I've never seen that before.
No, I fall down a lot and there's a lot of tequila.
Are you a little-
And
You said there was a lot of tequila.
So much. And
We
well,
were
and
drinking
whiskey.
a lot.
We were.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was.
Sorry. What? Don't
So
apologize.
you would come on another trip with us.
Oh yes.
if it
No, I was gonna
wasn't-
say air conditioning. That's all. I was just gonna
Yes.
say that.
Okay, that's fair.
Like all day though. Like
How about the activities?
I want to save the environment,
Did
but
you
we gotta
enjoy?
plant some more trees
Did you
because
like the
yes.
activities?
Shahar was the only one that jumped with me
So good.
without the zip
Oh
line.
yes.
We both jumped
At the cenote.
at the
Yes.
cenote, and
I hate that feeling. Do not recommend. My stomach.
it was fun, but it wasn't fun. It was
yeah,
like,
I'm glad I did it. I'm so
yes,
glad
I'm
I
happy
did it.
I did it because I've never done it before, but it was like a
God.
never-ending drop.
It never
Yeah.
stopped. Why was it so long?
See, I didn't do it because I've done it before. It was one of those things where it's like,
I
once
had
you've done
to do it though.
you've
I
done
had
it.
to.
My
But yeah, it was
stomach was
never
just like-
ending. I got up there and I was like, oh, this shit's gonna be so easy. I'm like, Shahar did it. I could do it too. I got up there and said, how do you jump? And the lady was like, just go straight down. I
With
said,
your legs.
I said, oh, okay. I just kept going. I wanted to hit the water, but the water just didn't come.
Like I almost did a flip, and then I was like, I took a step back,
I'm
and I
happy
was
you
like,
did it.
I'm
It's
not a diver.
hard.
I've never.
If you
I'm a gymnast. This is gonna turn out horribly. Like,
Horrible.
if you jumped off and did a flip, I would have legit freaked out.
Me too. I think
When we
because it
first
wasn't
went
a-
up there, there was a lady that
Like
didn't
belly flopped.
belly
It
flop.
was. Oh,
It
that was
sounded
painful.
horrendous.
It was
Like
bad.
she didn't do it any, like she was on the zip line, but she didn't.
She
She
just
didn't
like
do it right.
fell.
Like,
No,
she
it's
didn't
like
let
she
go of
didn't.
the
She
end.
let
and
go.
how she.
You know what it
yeah.
was? She had her legs down, and so her center of gravity was not in the correct spot, and she over-rotated, and that's why she fell forward.
Shahar, the way we end our shows, we either give words of advice or we share a WTF. And it can be from the week, it could be from the month, just it could be from this morning. Just anything.
I love how you said this morning.
This morning.
Oh,
Sorry, I watched
you're fine.
Austin Powers growing up way more than I should
I thought you were
have.
going to say recently, and I was about to say,
Right.
whoa.
Now I'm gonna go home and watch Austin
I haven't seen that
Powers.
in
should
so
watch
long.
all of them. They're great.
They
Don't
are
watch them
great.
with your kids unless you want them saying dick jokes. Okay.
I'm not ready for that part of life.
No, but I was definitely like 8. So
I know there's some movies that I was trying to watch Forrest Gump with Parker yesterday,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh,
yep.
this is not a kid. Like, I'm like, how the fuck did I watch this shit when I was younger?
Somehow the decision to not talk about ADHD has manifested
you.
itself
To ADHD.
perfectly.
Okay. Anyways, my WTF is that Parker is still not in school. He doesn't start until September 3rd after Labor Day,
Oh, wow.
which he's not even going to start that week because he's going to Mexico with his dad.
Living his
But-
best life.
My WTF is trying to figure out what to do with him. And
Got it.
this week, I ended up buying, which is really cool. I guess it's not really, I guess, yes. Anyways. La la la.
See, ADHD.
We can't
I
escape
am
it.
dead. Anyways, I bought the Universal buy one get one free tickets, and we went to Universal. Y'all, we stayed there all fucking day. I got the early access tickets to go to Mario World, and we got there, and we ended up leaving around like 6:30, and I was dead. But it was actually a really fun day. I think I had more fun than Parker did. I've never been to Universal, and it was the
Really?
I don't think I've never been there. I've been for horror nights, but I've never been to like
For whimsy?
Just go have fun.
to go have
and-
fun. I was having a time. Parker's been there multiple times with his friends, and he was like, well, when I was on the tour, we didn't wait in lines. And I was like, well, we about to wait in 40-minute lines, okay, little boy?
That's what we doing today.
Right. But it was, I think that's my WTF. I'm just, because next week I have to figure out more things to do.
Well,
So,
your nephew Boz has been looking for you
aw.
and Parker.
Okay.
And he asked me literally 2 days ago. He said, "Mom, when am I gonna ever like?"
Not
And I was like, he was
Right.
like pausing. And I'm like, "Okay, what are you saying?" And he was like, "When am I gonna spend the night at Auntie Shannon's house?" And I
Let's
was
do
like,
it.
oh.
You're like, let's go.
I said, let's call her. Parker's in Victoria.
You said, Auntie Shannon, come on. I would
was
love to
like,
have Boz
bet.
sleep over.
But he said Zaire's not invited.
Oh,
Aww,
And I was like,
it's okay. We can have
And
a big
I was
brother.
like, why is he not invited? He was like, well, you know, Zaire likes to lay on your arm at night. And he said maybe Auntie Shannon doesn't want to give Zaire her arm.
so
to give him my arm.
So specific.
That is hilarious.
Yes,
Boz
but
is so
it was
cute.
really sweet and really cute. Because, like, now that he's home, he's...
Yeah.
Oh, my kids are home, y'all.
Yes.
My kids are home. Now that they're home, Boz has been, like, he's been going through his list of, like, the
Oh,
people he wants
Get
to
back
see.
to seeing people.
Yes, so he did a night at Corey's house. He spent the night with Ryder at Uncle
I love
Corey's
that.
house. And when Corey brought the kids back, Boz he refused to come inside the house. He was like, I'm not ready to leave. I'm not ready to come back in here. And I was like, bro, if you don't get your little butt in here, like, we gotta go.
Let's get going.
Yeah, so it's been really cute. He's been, like, going through his, like, checklist of his friends, like his aunties. Oh, and the thing that tripped me out when he was asking about you, at first I thought he said Auntie Zaina.
Oh.
And I said, you want to spend that at Auntie Zaina's house? And I was like, nah, dude. Like,
She don't got no kids.
she ain't got no kids. And I know you have a crush on Auntie Zaina. Like, no. Like, it's not happening. And then he was like, no, Mom, Auntie Shannon. You didn't hear me right. So I was like, oh, okay.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, so just
I love
know
him.
Boz is coming for you.
I'm ready.
And Parker.
I'm ready. We're ready.
So just let me know when.
Okay. Look at the pressure is on, you guys.
Let me know when.
Let me know when you wanna take my kid.
And then
I love it.
And then I'll take him for, like, we could
And then
Yes.
swap. Yeah.
Swap.
We could definitely do a swap.
And I will come with you to take them to fun amusement parks and be the fun. Like, let me know. I got you.
wanna be the fun
I'll help
auntie?
you. Like, it'll be great.
Always looking for a
I
fun
love
aunt.
it.
It'll be great.
Come
Like,
on,
let's
fun
go.
aunt.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a WTF or any advice for people out there?
My advice for people out there, because my whole life said WTF, but I don't remember it, which is why I still look so young. I'll drop the skincare routine.
It's a hair flip for me.
Okay, shenanigans. I'm the WTF. But my advice is don't limit yourself by your past experiences. And if you want to experience something or if you want certain types of relationships, continue trying to pursue them while you also work on yourself and figuring out why it has been difficult for you to do the thing that you want to do. Because then you can find supportive people
Yeah.
and create real friendships and lasting memories. And perhaps be happy in our post-apocalyptic nightmare.
Man.
Cheers.
Not cheers. Well, there you guys have it. Make sure to call I can't even get it out.
Okay, y'all.
Make sure to go follow the Think Loud Crew page.
Thank you. I'm like.
You said thank you.
Thank you for tuning in this week. Don't forget to follow.
There you go.
Subscribe, comment, and review on your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget to tune into our YouTube, Think Loud Crew, so you can watch all our
Antics,
expressions
yes.
and just the body language, which I think always just enhances the listening.
Yeah.
You can find me at rkylelynn on Snapchat. Where can the people find you, Shahar?
At Tamshar, TAMSHAR on pretty much all of the platforms.
Okay.
Where can they find you, Shannon?
And you can follow me at Hair by Shannon C. I'm still coming for you, Snapchat. One day.
I get so many requests where
you?
people are like, "Where's Shannon's Snapchat?" And I'm like,
She don't do it. There's so many moments,
"We're
you
trying
guys.
to convert her."
I'll get there soon.
I've started thinking about it. I don't do it, but I've started
I think about it.
considering,
I was
so.
thinking about snapping
First
while I
up.
was at Universal. I thought it would have been like
know
the
what's-
best.
I would have loved that because recently I was on Snapchat and you can like tag your locations, and there were all these like Mario stuff, and I was like, "Dang, I want to go here." And then I was like, "Dang, Shannon's here. I wish she would have shown it." So
Yes.
Yeah, y'all, come on. I need you guys to put the little ghost emoji in the comments specifically so Shannon can get on Snapchat.
And if I don't get any, then I'm not going on Snap.
Yes, but as always, don't forget to tell your crew about our crew.